Good morning, Pastor Brian here. I want to thank you for joining me as we read a psalm a day. Today we are on Psalm 48 through our chapter a day Bible study series. And as we move through these psalms and through the different books of the Bible, as we eventually get to them, as we've got 102 more psalms to go, we will be reading just one chapter a day to learn more about them and just our initial reaction. Just what did we get out of the text today? And with the Psalms, one of the things that we're looking at is what kind of psalm is it? Is it a psalm of praise? Is it a psalm of lament? Is it a psalm of worship? Is it a psalm of wisdom? So, lament, thanksgiving, praise, wisdom, worship, I added to the list. So, think about that when you are reading through the psalm with me. Psalm 48. In the city belonging to our God, the Lord is great and so worthy of praise. His holy mountain is a beautiful summit, the joy of the whole world. Mount Zion, in the far north, is the city of the great King. God is in its fortifications, revealing himself as a place of safety. Look, the kings assembled themselves, advancing all together. When they saw it, they were stunned. They panicked and ran away frightened. Trembling took hold of them right there, like a woman giving birth, or like the east wind when it smashes the ships of Tarshish. Just like we had heard, and now we've seen it for ourselves. In the city of the Lord of heavenly forces, in the city of our God, may God make it secure forever. We dwell on your faithful love, God, in your temple. Your praise, God, just like your reputation, extends to the far corners of the earth. Your strong hand is filled with righteousness. Let Mount Zion be glad. Let the towns of Judah rejoice because of your acts of justice. Walk around Zion. Go all the way around it. Count its towers. Examine its defenses closely. Tour its fortifications so that you may tell future generations. This is God, our God, forever and always. He is the one who will lead us even to the very end. And speaking of end, that is the end of Psalm 48. One of the things I've noticed is that we have had now a string of joyful psalms. And it's just been, for me, not that I didn't appreciate, because there's so many good things to get out of Psalms of Lament, but we were just kind of on a string of Psalms of Lament that I was just hoping for something a little different. And now here we are having three or so Psalms of joy, of praise, of thanksgiving in a row. And so it's a nice change of pace. And in today's psalm, what did you get out of it? What was something that stuck out to you? Maybe it was something you liked. Maybe it was something you didn't like. Whatever it was, think about it and dig a little deeper into why maybe it stuck out to you. One of the things that stuck out to me is just this reminder that God is in our midst. The psalm here uses some very tangible ways of describing God being present. And we do know that the Israelites, with the tabernacle and everything, talked about God's presence in that, in the tent of the holy tent. But this also, for me, just reminds me that God is with us, and that when there are kings assembling around us, when there are people that are coming after us in whatever form that means, it doesn't mean that they're attacking us or like the language of the psalm today, but just when we feel like we are being advanced upon in whatever aspect of our life, that we have this holy city, this Mount Zion, and that the king of the city is God, and God is in the fortifications. So, and to me, that is, it's kind of a weird image again. I always kind of struggle with, in a way, not in a really bad way, but just struggle with some of the military language that is used, just because it's not very, it's a little foreign to me, I guess you could say. But I love the idea of fortifications in terms of God is, basically, to me, when it says that God is in its fortifications in verse 3, revealing himself as a place of safety, that means that, in the places that we are, God is the cornerstone, or God is, the skeleton, is actually what my brain first went to. God is that foundation. God is the strong structure that holds everything together. And that God is the one who provides all of that safety and hope for the future. And that God is the one who makes us secure forever, as verse 8 says. And so because of that, we are glad, and we talk about God's faithful love, and we praise God for everything that God does in the times in which we remember God as that strength, as God as that foundation, as the one who kind of holds everything together in the midst of when times don't seem like they ever will stay together anymore. And so it's a psalm of joy, but it also is a psalm of comfort for me in that way, that, when I'm out and about, that I've got God as my foundation, as my fortress, as my shield, as my strength. And those are the things that really got me in this psalm, on top of being yet another joyful psalm. So write down what you got out of today's psalm, share it with a friend, share it with us. As always, take care of yourselves, stay well, and God bless.